I'm Ian Varley, CEO of Eagle Business Credit. I'd like to welcome back with me here today Steve Nevin from B2B CFO. Steve's company helps a lot of small businesses and larger businesses as well with their cash flow management needs. We're going to talk a little bit about the book that you've come up with, The Danger Zone. I think there's some really good information in there. So thank you, Steve.
Okay, well, Ian, thank you for that introduction. It's a pleasure to be back here on The Money Factor. Today, more than ever, cash flow is what keeps business owners up at night.
Yep.
It's like fuel in an airplane. You can never have enough of it unless, of course, you're on fire.
Yeah.
Actually, cash flow is something that often business owners don't know how to track. They don't understand why, once their sales start to increase, very often their cash dwindles.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, how can that be? If I drive my sales, I ought to have more money in the bank. But in fact, cash, the difference between cash and sales is really timing.
Right.
How often and how quickly you get paid by your customers versus how often and quickly you have to pay those that you owe money to.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the themes that you bring up here in The Danger Zone. And I really read in detail with this, when a company is growing fast and they exceed their available cash, then the future of the company may be in jeopardy. Couldn't put it any better. You've got to manage cash.
That's right. And it's surprising how many business owners do not understand how to forecast cash flow.
Yeah.
And these are, entrepreneurs who have started companies before. And, they can put together a projection. I think, my sales will go this way and here are my expenses. But they really don't understand the concept of cash flow. So this is one of the key areas that B2B CFO, our partnership, focuses on with our business owner clients. We help them understand how to forecast cash. We direct them towards areas that are key items where they can preserve cash. So, for example, receivables financing, right? Which is what you do. So we come in there and we see a business where they're not getting paid until 45 to 60 days out.
Right.
And when I ask them about that, they're saying, well, we don't want to call the customer, we'll insult them.
Yeah, exactly.
Which always blows my mind.
Yeah, well, we find that all the time. I mean, it's true. They're happy to take a new order. They're less happy to talk about payment. And it's just a polite phone call. All you have to do is ask about the status of the invoice, right? It's not a collection call.
That's right.
We have some people that use us just for that.
Oh, yeah.
So, it really helps them to manage those receivables and make sure that they are bridging that gap. Because you're exactly right. It is that gap between when you've made the sale, you've issued the invoice with credit terms because you want to remain competitive, and you're growing. So all of your cash flow and your working capital is getting tied up in your receivables. And it's a problem, right?
Yeah, and most companies do not have people who specialize in receivables collections. They don't really know how to do it. So when we walk into a company and we see that as an opportunity to improve cash flow, we make an assessment as to, is this a company that lends itself to a tool like factoring?
Right.
And when we see that, we of course know we're going to call Ian at Eagle Business Credit.
Please.
And in some instances, the problem isn't that severe, but they could still shorten the time frame of collections by a week or two just by implementing some basics in collection.
Exactly, some common sense approach to just manage it. Yeah.
Now, conversely, while companies we see are being paid late by their customers, they're usually very early paying their vendors.
They're right, yeah. Which further exacerbates their cash, right?
Exactly. What's wrong with this picture? And, they're very proud of their reputation in the community, and we get that.
Yeah.
But we have to educate them on what are typical standards for payment times with business owners. And so, in certain circumstances, we go through the payables and we can recommend extending some payment terms out based on the criticality of that vendor. So we want to try to get payables timing and receivables timing in sync.
Matched up. Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys do a great job, and I think you provide great advice to people that are looking at exactly this problem.